Welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we will build the front end for the FridgeChef application using ChatGPT. Of course, we could have built it using our own HTML development skill and JavaScript, of course, but in order to practice with ChatGPT, so we will be building it using ChatGPT. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code, and we need to create the image, which is the folder which is public. So public. We need to go to app.js and allow access to this folder. So here we need to modify the middleware to make a public folder available. I will copy an image that we will use in the application, so I'm copying it inside the public folder. That's the image, and then I will just start with the prompt. So let's first come to the role, which is you are an experienced web developer. You need to generate the front-end HTML and JavaScript for a web page that will call a JSON web API to generate healthy meals from food, ingredients, and calorie intakes. The application name is FridgeChef. So this is the introduction about what it is going to build. Now we will start with the context. So you need to use Bootstrap CSS library. You need to create one single HTML file that only contains HTML, vanilla JavaScript, and Bootstrap classes. Then the content of the page shall be included in a div with the container Bootstrap class and have round edges. The background color of the page shall be light gray, while the container shall be dark gray. So light gray for the background of the page and dark gray for the background of the container. You need to create a header that has a logo, and there is the name of the logo file, and a title, both to be centered. The container width shall be 80% of the entire width. So these are. The page includes a form at the top to collect food ingredients and are separated by commas. Default value is this, and the kilocalorie index, which is a number defaulting to 2000, and also a send and clear button. Okay, below the form there is a tabbed output with 3 tabs. One belongs to the breakfast, one belongs to the lunch, and one belongs to the dinner. Include sufficient margin between the form and the tabs. When the submit button is clicked on the form, a vanilla JavaScript code shall read the ingredients and the calorie intakes inputs and call the following URL. This is the URL, and this is the route specified in our application, and pass the ingredients and kilocalorie in the body as JSON objects. Here is a sample JSON object for the request, the ingredients, and the kilocalories. A spinner must be shown during the call, and the controls on the form must be disabled. When the API is returned, it has an array of JSON objects. Key is meals. The first element in the array is the breakfast, the second lunch, and the third is the dinner. Each object contains title, descriptions, and URL for an image. An example returned JSON is this. Okay. Then you need to display the breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the corresponding tabs. Each tab has a title at the top, followed by a description on the left and an image on the right. In the description returned from the REST API call, please replace all new line characters with PR tags. Because all the new lines to appear on HTML, we need to replace them with PR tag. Leave enough padding around the image. Resize the image if it doesn't fit. Please include all the code in one file called fridge_chef.html. So this is the prompt. I tried to capture most of the things that happened to me during the testing. Let me copy this. I'll go to ChatGPT and I will paste the prompt and wait for the answer. So it is creating the image, the HTML file for me. Okay, it didn't finish generating, so I need to say continue generating. Okay, now it finished. Let's copy this file. We will call it fridge_chef. So I'll go to Visual Studio Code. Here I will create a new HTML file. It's called fridge_chef.html, and I will paste this code. Okay, now we just should restart the Express server because we changed one of the middleware. So I am restarting it now. Now I'll go to Visual Studio Code and try refreshing. Okay, so this is the image. It is showing a spinner that is available, although there is no call, so I will fix that. Here we have the lunch, the dinner. Let's try it. So it takes some time because it calls the ChatCompletion model to get the text. Then for each image, it will call DALL-E in order to generate the image. Okay, so we can see here the tabs looks okay. These things looks okay, and the spinner has gone. So it seems that to start with, the spinner wasn't very well. Maybe here the padding need to be improved. Let's try and remove the fish, because as I can see that we have fish in the lunch and chicken on the dinner. So let me remove the fish and make this 1700. Okay, again the spinner is working, so it was just to start with, it was already enabled. Okay, so now we have the breakfast, the lunch is chicken, and the dinner is chicken as well, because we don't have fish. Okay, let me just fix one thing. So the spinner was showing when the page was first loaded. It should only show during the API call. And the second thing I will say that please include padding within the tabs and make the images a bit larger. Let's see what it will do now. It didn't finish generating, so I'll do continue generation. Okay, now it is finished. Let me try it. Okay, let's refresh here. Okay, so the spinner is not showing. Here, these are the tabs. Let me try just once. The spinner is working and there is a little bit of padding around it, so that's better. Okay, so for me now it's looking better. That's better with the padding here. The size of the images is better. Again, here we see this, and here for dinner. It looks to be much better than last time. So I will stop it here. You can of course try and improve it as much as you can. You can go to the code and improve it in the code, or you can just complete talking to ChatGPT and ask it to improve the code for you. By this we finish this project. We will have a new lesson later, so talk to you then.